Welcome to Hits and Hoops Week 4 edition. I am Tyler, as always, and I'm here with the one, the only, Dixon Luna. What's up, Chicho?
Yo, 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 what's the deal?
Today we are also here by a very special guest, a very close friend of mine, a new guest to the Hits and Hoops audience. James, what's goody, James?
Guys, what's going on? Pleasure, excited to be here. Been in the talks for a while and ready to go.
For sure, man. I'm glad you can make it. Before we jump in, just make sure everybody likes, subscribe, comment, share on all our platforms, such as YouTube, such as TikTok, IG, Spotify, and Apple. You definitely have more interaction as of late. And just so the audience does know, we are shooting this during the Ravens Bills game. So if anything crazy happens, we won't get to it. We're going to jump in this episode talking about the Vikings and Packers games today. We're going to talk about the Chiefs Chargers, the Caleb Williams and rookie watch, and then we're going to finish the night with a Sunday night ride with Ty. But first, we're going to get to know James a little bit more. I probably know most of this, but for Dixon and the audience, we're just going to ask him a few questions about his Viking fanatic that he is. He is from Minnesota. So I'm just gonna start. When did you become a Vikings fan?
I mean, you're kind of born a Vikings fan. Uh,
Okay, touche.
born and born and raised in Minnesota. You become just a diehard fan from day one, and just the love grows as you get older and you kind of learn the sport, learn the game.
What were some of your favorite teams growing up?
Man, specific teams. There's quite a few. There's a lot of moments, players in a sense, but for me, the big years was Moss coming in at 98, really changed the landscape. The big home run hit, Dante Culpepper, but also before that was Brad Johnson days. We had a lot of close playoff runs, but Chris Carter as a kid growing up, I used to idolize Chris Carter and the way he could catch the ball and the sideline toe taps.
And
And
big receiver because of those guys, right?
big time. Yeah, absolutely.
Cool, very cool. What were some of your like you did name two, like Randy, Culpepper, Chris Carter. What were some of your other favorites growing up? Even if they weren't on the Vikings.
Well, I'll still name Vikings players, but Robert Smith, I don't know if you fellas are familiar with that name, but running back had some great years. I used to love him. John Randall on the defensive line. He kind of, in my opinion, revolutionized face paint. If you guys remember he used to do the big Batman style face paint. It kind of became a thing where it was something new, and it's emulated a lot now in the league, as you see, especially on the defensive side of the ball. He was fierce. He was dynamic. He was obviously playing against the Reggie White days too, so he didn't get as much limelight. But John Randall's a stud.
Oh yeah. So fast forwarding to uh, the beginning of the season, right? Right before with McCarthy getting hurt. I know me and Dixon last week we had mentioned a couple other off-season, how should we say tragedies. Um, Going into the year, what was your mindset?
Every year, I'm super optimistic. As a Vikings fan, you always think it's your year, and then you find out it's not. But you
Touche.
know, obviously, I was a Cousins fan. The guy puts up numbers, limited mobility, but very, very optimistic, especially getting JJ in the draft. Didn't expect him to get thrown to the Wolves right away with the signing of Darnold. I expected Darnold for sure to start and see how it went and give JJ that moment. But I'll tell you what, we've had conversations before about Darnold, and you didn't expect much. I
No.
always I used to always kind of say, he was a third overall pick for a reason. Yeah, he hasn't been in his best situations, but I was pretty optimistic with his skill set going into the Vikings offense with the McConnell. I'll tell you what, though, fellas, I'm full on. Let's go. Let's go. Sammy the Savior.
Oh my God, Dixon, how are you feeling about Darnold right now?
I can't believe it. I'm in shock. I thought his career was over with. I thought, the Jets pretty much buried him into the ground.
Yeah.
Once you go through that organization, it's hard to come back. So That was super rough. But just to see him come back and thrive this way, today had another great game. Just keeps throwing touchdowns. Justin Jefferson just keeps catching them. But back to like James' story. So what, your parents are also from Minnesota?
Yeah, whole family, everybody's there. I moved to South Florida in 2005, actually. Been
Oh, okay.
19 years, 19 years now. Everybody's back home. So, there's a lot of talk, a lot of love for the team.
It seems like y'all have always been able to draft like legendary receivers. I feel like it's just part of, your identity now. Do you know any like backstory to that, or that's just something that's just happened throughout time?
No, I don't think there is a story. We've always been very lucky with receivers, but we're also very, very notorious for drafting defensive end busts.
Hmm.
Okay.
I feel like every time we get somebody on the defensive side, especially on the line, they don't pan out. Receivers have always hit, but this Dallas Turner kid that we got from Alabama is an outside linebacker, edge player. He looks like he could be pretty promising.
I feel that. Yeah, no, I feel like every team has that. Every team has like a certain position that they just draft very well in, and a certain position that they don't draft well in, and they have like a bunch of busts. But you guys had Daniel Hunter. Wasn't he like an outside linebacker or?
Yeah, so Hunter definitely he was edge and outside linebacker. I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't recall if we drafted him or not. I'd have to look that up because I don't remember that draft pick specifically, or if he just
Right.
became something special.
I mean, someone on the line for the Vikings, just in my era, was always like Jared Allen. He
Oh
was
well,
always a
yeah,
monster.
Go back,
He was a
yeah.
consistent, like, Pro Bowler. So shout out to him. But yeah, I remember just being like legendary receivers going through there. Chris Carter, Randy Moss, and now JJ.
yeah, no, for sure.
So
Some great offensive linemen too. One of the best ones is Matt Burke.
yeah. So going to today, 4-0, how are you feeling about your team?
Oh man, I'll tell you, I'm stoked. I think they are looking like a complete solid team right now. Still with room to grow. Flores has impressed me with the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah,
It
he's
was
been really showing out.
it last year, the beginning of the year. It's like the team almost didn't buy into his scheme and his strategy, and it was rough. But it's like that second half of the year last year, it was started showing, and this year, man, they come out firing. They're aggressive.
Yeah, no, he's rough around the edges, so I could see why, like in the beginning, it's like a slow adjustment period. Me and Tyler know very well, from his time at the Dolphins, but I think him being a defensive coordinator, that's his true position. The problem is with us, he was a head coach.
That's like that's his first year with Miami was exactly like that. We got plastered the first 5, 6, 7 weeks, and then like James just said,
Started believing into it.
it's working. And then the next year prior, I mean, they were a top defense, and shoot, they're probably the Vikings are probably top three defense right now.
And it's crazy because, like, I mean, who are the players? It has to be who are the main players you think on that defense that's getting it done? I think the most impressive part is the coach because there's not really that many well-known players outside of like, Vikings fans.
Yeah, so I think right now with the defense, they did a good job getting some savvy vets. Not the most um, showstoppers, but with the Stephon Gilmore addition, and
Nice.
then Shaquille Griffin, they got him from Houston last past year. But then we also have Byron Murphy still. We did lose the first rookie last year, but he went down with the knee injury. Was supposed to be pretty promising, but Harrison Smith still on the backside.
Hey, my boy Harrison Smith,
They'll
yo,
do
that's
it,
one of my
bro.
favorite. Hey, that's one of like the modern safeties that I've always enjoyed watching. Just a
Definitely.
white boy out there killing it.
And he does, bro. Harry the Hitman, they call him, for a reason.
Oh wow.
Yeah. But Josh Metellus has just been a undrafted guy that became something special. He's like a mix in Cameron Bynum, the other safety, has really
Yeah.
shown out. They're talking they're gonna have to pay him. We might end up losing him after the year because we won't afford him. But believe it or not, our D line is the kind of the suspect right now because we lost, Hunter, a couple other guys on that line, but we have some no names really showing up.
Really, yeah.
Patrick Jones has been playing lights out. But the other big addition for us is really two additions actually, and you guys are very familiar with one of these names. But Van Ginkel, has
Dink. Yeah, hell yeah.
Van
Oh
Ginkel
man,
has been
that hurts.
balling.
That hurts.
And
He's
then
just an energy type guy. He's just when he gets out there, he uplifts the whole team. Just
I
his
haven't seen on
energetic
the
style.
telecast. I haven't seen on the telecast, but is there a trend in the fans wearing blonde wigs yet?
yeah, well, the Viking is it's like a blonde braids,
Right.
with
He
horns.
already looks like
So
a Viking.
yo,
Oh my God, it all makes
Boom.
sense now. Yes.
let's go. So he does fit the part. At least his hair's a little thicker than George Kittle. Not gonna lie.
Ooh.
So it looks a little nicer back there,
No,
but
Kato's hair, yeah, he's hanging on for dear life at this point. I'm sorry,
yeah.
but
But man, and then the other guy, man, Jonathan Grenard or whatever that we took from Houston, they kind of thought we overpaid for him, but the game against Houston, he was ready to play, man, and I think he had 3 sacks or something like that game, but he's been
wow,
solid for us. So
yeah.
it's been impressive. But man, we're talking defense, but I just want to hit this though. Sam Darnold, before today's game, he has thrown 8 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, fellas. After today, he's at 11 touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
Threw another three today.
Yeah.
He's rolling around 120 something rating. Phenomenal,
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Hmm.
Now,
That's crazy.
do you think him being with Shanahan last year helped his game? Rather than when he's with Carolina.
I agree. I think 100%, absolutely. Shanahan, McConnell, those guys, they all kind of grew up in the same systems together.
Okay.
That's an amazing pit stop to go to if you're a quarterback.
Yeah, for
One or
sure.
2 years with Shanahan and then go somewhere where you can actually play.
Uh, for sure. There's one big thing though that was huge for me today. Sam Darnold. You remember, was it 2 years ago? Carolina Panthers. He was
Yeah.
a starter.
Right.
Remember, they started 3-0, and everybody's like, "Uh-oh," and
Yeah.
then to the ground.
Fell off the cliff quick.
Darnold was 3-0 before today. Guess what buddy is today?
Or no. Okay.
He's 4-0.
No, and that far no is significant because that's like a quarter mark in the season. So that's really when you start looking at teams like, okay, we might be onto something here. It's not just a fluke at this point. And that's the thing about it is they've beat quality opponents thus far.
Schedule is tough this year.
Today
We
they
have a
beat the Packers. They already beat Houston,
mm-hmm,
Yeah.
49ers.
Yeah.
yep,
Like
and the
those are three
Giants.
playoff teams already. You know what I'm saying? The Giants, yeah, that's fine.
Well,
We'll give them that. But the other three, it was like, wow, those are really impressive wins.
Dixon, what I like about the Giants win though, and I agree, that's a game you got to win. But first game of the year,
First game.
not sure what you're gonna get. Everybody's about the whole Darnold thing. Oh, he's done, right? But we didn't just beat the Giants.
Smack them.
We whooped
Yeah,
the Giants,
Yeah.
and that's what you got to do to teams like that.
for sure.
You,
That's
you
always a
know,
good sign when if you're a real team, you got to destroy those teams that
Right. You can't just win like how the Cowboys beat the Giants, barely scrape by. No, you gotta
you gotta convince.
put belt to ass, like the young boys say now.
Um, Question for you, James. Comparing this team to that 13-4 team, I know that team won a lot of games. Like I think they won nine or 10 games by a point or by a score. I think
Which 13-4? The Kirk Cousins team?
the Kirk Cousins.
yeah,
You
yeah.
talking about with Henry Diggs?
No, Diggs,
It
Diggs wasn't on that team.
Oh, my fault.
was Jefferson.
It was Baby Jeff. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Mm.
That was the end of the Dalvin Cook era also.
Okay.
James, how would you compare these two teams so far of what you've seen through 4 weeks?
I see a lot more this year.
Okay.
Uh, Starting with quarterback play. Couple things with Darnold compared to Cousins that I have already noticed. One, mobility. Okay. He's better on his legs. He can escape. Two, I don't know if you guys seen the replays, but he's throwing the deep ball and he's leading the guys.
Yeah.
Cousins would throw the deep ball, but it's them coming back for it
Right.
80% of the time. That 90 something, I don't know if you guys saw the highlights of the 98-yard touchdown pass
Oh
with
yeah.
with Jefferson.
Oh
That
yeah.
thing
Oh
was
my
that
God.
that was on the dime in a sense. Like that was a throw.
out of
Perfect
the end zone.
route, perfect throw, perfect run.
In
Perfect.
stride, touchdown unless it's an in stride throw, hands down. And then Jefferson obviously making the ability and the wherewithal, the mindset to cut back across the field. It's almost like a Madden move,
Yeah.
where it's angles. At that point, they
Nasty.
lost the angle, and he was gone. But right from the start, man, just Darnold. I'm not going to sit here and shade on Cousins because he had some good years, but mobility killed him. He's even shown the lack of mobility in Atlanta. A couple of games I've kind of watched a little bit. Like he just taken the dumb sacks he takes. You
Yeah.
know, pressure comes and it's like
Right.
up to the ground, and
Yeah.
and it's the worst times. 3rd and 4, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 5. It's like, come on, man. It's the same old, same old. Um, Defense. We're moving, man. But back to offense again. Aaron Jones. He
I think
he's he,
that's the biggest addition all year, Aaron Jones.
Yeah.
yep.
I think
Because
people sleep on him. They might have kind of hit him out because running backs they get older and stuff. But I knew he was going to keep thriving. He never really
yep.
had no huge injuries like that. So
So yeah, we're definitely. I'm excited. I mean, look what we're doing without Hawkinson. Another big weapon on offense. We just got Addison back today, first game, and look at what he did. 2 touchdowns today.
Yeah.
You know, you think about it, we're pretty thin on the receiver side, other than Jefferson and Addison. Then you go to Jalen Naylor, a guy we drafted, 3rd, 4th round a few years ago. Then we go to Sherfield. Played a little stint with the
yeah,
Dolphins. He's like in there for a couple plays. We don't have a ton of depth in that sense, but we just got the big players in the spot.
top heavy. Yeah, yeah. You don't have that, but the two that are there, I mean, you got the best receiver in the league, and then a young, an up and coming one too.
You know,
One thing before we leave Darnold, I don't know if you remember this, James, but we talked before the season. We talk all the time. But I was like, man, you went on some tirade about Darnold, and I said, yo, it's so funny to hear you talk yourself into Darnold. And God damn it, you were right. You were right.
I have these weird things sometimes, man. Like, and I'm not, I'm not right all the time by no means, but like, I have like these weird thoughts and reasonings. Like, I know we're going to get to Caleb Williams towards the end of the show in the rookie quarterbacks, and we can dive more into that. But you and I, we've had lots of conversations on my thoughts on those guys.
For
We'll
sure.
dive, but I try to look at body of work, even in college, and not just stats. I look at wins. You got to be a winner, not just a player. And you got to be able to find a way. And I'm a big believer in systems in the NFL. Big believer. If the quarterback's not in the right system, right personnel, they're not going to work out. It's just not gonna be a thing. Look at wide receivers. Big time example. Look at how many people Tom Brady has gotten paid. Aaron Rodgers has gotten paid. Then they go on to a new team. They can't do anything.
For
Crickets, yeah.
sure.
And it's all about being in the right system, right time, right personnel, and that just can catapult anything. Honestly,
Brady made a few players, Hall of Famers that wouldn't even be Pro Bowlers on other teams. So that's for sure.
absolutely.
That's for sure.
So
Yo, I want to talk about the other side of the ball real quick though, the Green Bay Packers, because even though like they lost, I think they're a really good team at this point. I think that's certified. I think Love, was rusty coming back. That's why he had all those interceptions, but still managed to make it a close game at the end. So I think they'll be fine as well, and I think that division will continue to be tough for sure.
Big time. I mean, the Vikings, they started out super strong today, and they had three bad mistakes, and all three of them led to points on the Packers side. So they did, go back at him, and he did have four. He had two picks quick, Jordan Love, and he ended up with four touchdowns. So
Yeah.
he moved the ball when he was really aggressive. He looked good, man, and I think you're right. Packers are still a good team, even though they lost today.
Yeah, even though they're 2-2, I think everyone could see they're clearly a good team.
uh man, I usually don't put the word Packers in my mouth. Being in that NFC North division, there's do you have like a bleep button, or are we on a delay here so I can,
Oh
We
if
can
I
no,
edit it. We can edit it.
oh fuck the Packers. No. So listen, man, I still respect good play, and I still don't really understand how Jordan Love is a top five, maybe the top three highest paid quarterback in the NFL, which is mind
What?
boggling to me. And it just shows to
Off
me
of
the
8 games.
quarterback market is out of control. But I'll tell you what, he is good.
Yeah.
He really is. And I, you asked me, Dixon, how do the Vikings draft wide receivers? They obviously know how to get quarterbacks, bro.
Oh yeah, that's their bag. They're
Like,
legendary with that.
and not for nothing, man. Like Josh Jacobs, which I can't believe. I was shocked when they were able to pull him. I did not. I that was not one team that I thought he was going to go to at all. But they
They
got
don't
some young.
usually get huge names in the market like that. People don't want to go up there, that cold weather and all that.
Yeah, you want to talk about a crappy place to live?
Right.
Google Green Bay, Wisconsin.
Right. No,
You
it's like
know,
the smallest market in the NFL.
yeah.
Is it
But
really?
it's got to be close to it. Yeah, it's they're. Listen, I'm telling you, Google Green Bay, Wisconsin. It's
I still got to go there one day just for that
I gotta go.
and the
Yep.
'70s show. Supposedly it was out there. Like
they say because I know quite a few people that have gone. They actually say the Packers Stadium is one of the top five stadiums to go to.
Really?
Well, that's what they say. They say it's a hell of an experience.
and you got to go when it's
Which,
-0 degrees.
yeah,
I got a
wear
point.
blaze orange, wear hunting gear, and you fit right in, bro.
That's it.
All right. Well, last question on this game in the Packers. Are the Vikings the team to beat right now?
I would say
I,
so. I think after today, I would say best team in the league. And that's not even like laser or nothing. I was hesitant to say that, but I'm like, if you look at the quality of opponents,
Yeah. And
gotta give it to them right now.
like you and James both said, like they dominated in these games. They
yeah.
didn't just kind of squeeze by. I mean, it was a close call today, but a lot would have had to happen for the Packers to get there. Going to the next.
So,
Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah, about that. I mean, I say they're a team to beat. I still think the Chiefs are the team to beat.
Okay.
I think the Chiefs are still the number one team in the league. Um, Vikings are showing their worth. Um, I think the Bills. I mean, I'm looking at the undefeated teams right now: Bills, Chiefs, the Vikings, and Seahawks. They're like a Carolina Panthers. I think 2 years ago, 3-0 right now, and I don't foresee them being there. Maybe playoffs, but I don't expect them to be.
Their opponents
Like,
have been subpar.
yeah, but I think the Chiefs, but the Bills look really good too. So definitely, I think 1, 2, 3 is Bills, Chiefs, Vikings, Bills, hands down. Um, but I do have one more really unique thing that happened today.
Yep.
Von Gilmore today playing in the Packers Stadium. He has now officially played one regular season game in every NFL stadium.
That's amazing.
The
Wow.
Packer, the Packers is the only stadium he has yet to play in, and today he did. That's
That's
pretty
one of
damn
those
cool.
like no, that's one of those like personal bucket list accomplishments for sure.
Yeah,
Wow, that's incredible. That's a crazy fact.
yeah.
Moving over to the Chiefs, like you mentioned, Chiefs and Chargers today. Chiefs won a sloppy game again. They both did it sloppy, and the Chargers got up. They went up 10 very quickly, and then didn't score the rest of the game.
Shake it off. Shake it off. Right? Is that what they do?
That's what they do. Yeah, I mean, 10 points is really 0 points. The Chiefs pulled it off today again in the same manner. And
Listen, it's
no
easy.
penalties today.
Hold on, wait. It's easy. Look,
What holding call do you want to talk about?
it's easy. I could easily point to the penalty during the Chiefs' final drive when they were in the red zone where it was like a holding call. I could do that, but I'm not going to. It's fine. Today, I'm gonna take the high road. And I'm just gonna say this. I just gotta give credit to the Chiefs defense. Like
Yeah.
honestly, this year and last year, they've been a top three defense, criminally underrated because they don't have those big names. But every time I see that defense on the field, they are locked down. And I think that's just Spags, that coach, the defensive coordinator they got, the system that they run, because Mahomes still to this game hasn't had a Mahomes like year. He hasn't really balled out, quote unquote. He's finding a way to win, but like you said, it's sloppy. So today I really just want to shout at that defense and give them a lot of credit.
Their top two weapons went down today. Or no, well, Pacheco went down last week, but
Yep.
Rice went out.
Rice, who was really balling, he was
Yeah,
going
Oh,
crazy to this point.
Yeah, so they're them going
which
out
was a crazy injury. Like, why the fuck is Mahomes running into Rasheed Rice? That was so random. Like,
was
Well,
weird.
Mahomes was going down to do a tackle, and the player kind of like almost went to the
right.
left, and then he went right into his legs
It was
because
just so rare. Like, you never really
yeah,
see a quarterback entangled with another player in that way.
or that star quarterback to go for a hit like that.
Right.
They run the
Yeah.
other way. Kind of hurt
They
his
usually don't even
shoulder.
run. They usually just stand there like, damn.
He could have dislocated his shoulder on a tackle. Like we've seen that before.
Right.
That's why they usually tell the quarterback they'd rather give up a touchdown than hurt their quarterback.
100%.
Chiefs defense, like you were saying. One thing I think the reason why Chris Jones is such a legend now is because he always plays up to the moment.
Clutch performer. Like,
Two
Always.
sacks,
clutch.
two sacks today.
Those last couple drives that the Chargers were trying to get downfield, they play in those jumbo sets like crazy, right? I enjoy it just because it's different, and sometimes it works with the personnel and their injuries. They don't look like uh, a team that they did even look like last week. But that defensive line just got through those front guys so quickly at the end, and Chris Jones was the lead of it.
Huge that they are able to bring him back.
Yeah.
They need
Mhm.
that he is single handedly the best interior other than before when Aaron Donald was still in the league.
Yes,
But
sir.
he single handedly controls that inside. Like he is a game changer.
I think when people bring up this Chiefs dynasty this past 5 years, you talk about Mahomes, and the second person you need to bring up or even just acknowledge is Chris Jones.
I'll say it would be Mahomes, Kelsey, and Jones. That's like the big three of the dynasty right there.
I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, not in my opinion, but I can't argue with that either.
Yeah.
Hey, Chris Jones, the last two championships, when they wouldn't have not gotten if it wasn't because of Chris Jones on the defensive line.
Well, but Travis
And
Kelsey, people say might be the GOAT. I don't hear people saying Chris Jones might be the GOAT of anything. So there's levels. There's levels to this thing. But definitely
there's
them three, them three, them three.
I think Chris Jones is. I mean, you just compared him to the best defensive player of all time, arguably. Did you not?
Darnold. I
Donald.
mean, and Donald. I mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. I think it's hard sometimes as like casual fans and guys that kind of really get into sports and stuff. But like, I I I could probably sit over here and rattle off a lot more offensive numbers, but I couldn't probably sit here and tell you career defensive numbers and like defense just isn't as sexy. We don't talk about defense like that, so it's easy for us to be like, oh yeah, the goat of tight ends, the goat of wide receivers. But when it comes to defense, like, oh yeah, that linebacker had 4,000 tackles in his career. I don't even know who has the most tackles ever in history. Do you guys?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, like so that would be something to kind of look into because it'd be interesting, like when you talk about GOAT, we talk about numbers. Well, I don't really have anything other than just what we visually see a lot of times.
Touche. Anything else on this game you guys want to talk about?
I do have something off of what Dixon said, and it's kind of funny because it kind of comes back to exactly what he said about drafting wide receivers. The Kansas City Chiefs always have damn good defensive backs. Like they don't win these Super Bowls without their rookie defensive backs last year. And now look at them. They lost L'Jarius Sneed,
Yeah.
and they haven't lost a step.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Trent McDuffie, a rookie. Watson, a
Thud.
rookie. Like you, with contracts and salaries the way they're getting, you have to win with rookie contracts.
Mhm.
Everything's getting so top heavy. It's gonna get crazy. Like they like, and I think hands down though, Spagnolia is a genius.
No,
Puts
for
players
sure.
in position.
For
So
sure. Yeah, no, they've been drafting great defensive backs since like Eric Berry and them.
yep,
Wow, haven't heard his name in a hot minute, Chicho.
Yeah, no, he was really good when he was able to be out there.
definitely. But yeah, overall sloppy game, like you said though. They find a way though, and that's what winners do. Just find a way.
They
Mahomes had
do.
his first 50+ yard touchdown today since 2022. I saw.
Yeah,
That was
crazy.
Now
amazing.
Yeah,
you think he's always throwing the air ball.
yeah, different. It's a different time for Mahomes.
Until left, yeah, it's been different.
Different times. He did have the 50-yard bomb was to Worthy, and it was nice. It was
Of course.
Worthy was dumb fast for real.
Oh, he really is. But again, quarterback. You've got Worthy, okay, but no name wide receivers
Yeah.
balling, making plays. Their tight ends, um, Noah
Bray made a
Gray,
bunch of plays today.
Yeah, like these guys on other teams are blockers probably, or at best are not getting the ball.
Right.
Because they don't have a quarterback to extend a play like he does. Like it's just impressive what they can do with no one,
Yeah. And
no running
Travis
back.
Kelsey, back on that Kelsey watch, that Kelsey and Swift watch. Good shit, my boy. You had to
And
show up today. Rasheed Rice went down, and I expect you to have to like keep performing, keep showing up because you're all my homeboy guy now.
Kareem Hunt
Welcome back.
Oh,
Welcome
welcome,
back.
just
Ike.
got signed for 70 yards, I think, or something on the ground. Like first game, I don't even think he's been with the team for a week.
No, people don't
Crazy.
want to hear it, but Kareem Hunt, anytime he gets the opportunity, he's on the field, he's a good running back.
Yeah.
That's just always what it's been from Cleveland to the first KC stint to now. Yeah, we all seen the video. Yeah, it was horrible, but damn it, when he gets on that field, he does this thing. He's just an old school, like ground and pound type of running back.
The fact that he missed out on this dynasty because he made some wrongful decisions is wild. Because y'all remember when he first came in the league, he was a firecracker in the backfield for them.
Oh my God, his first game ever. He had 3 touchdowns, like primetime game. I forgot who they were playing. It might have been like the Patriots or someone crazy, someone, but yeah, no, he
You want
was
you want to
destined.
know who he reminded me of when he came into the league?
Oh,
Chris Johnson. Remember him from the Tennessee Titans?
oh yeah, CJ2K, yeah.
Like he with the passing game and the run game. That's who he kind of reminded me of coming in. I'm like, man, this guy's a dual threat. Like he's nasty.
Yeah,
You
he's
know?
big in the passing game. CJ2K was just that's a different level of speed. He was crazy.
Yeah, he was fun, wasn't he?
All right, going down, or I should say going up to Chicago. Caleb William Watch plus a couple rookies. Today, the Bears quarterback got a win. Okay, 157, a touchdown, and he threw 17 for 23. I think that's like 80%. Not a bad game, not a great game, but they did win. His best game of his statistics.
Best game of the year. All we asking for is a week to week improvement. That's all we want to see. I told you, cut back the turnovers and then you'll be good. The thing that I learned is, yo, Chicago got a good team around them.
They
And
do.
that's not even the offense. That defense, that
Defense.
Chicago defense is legitimate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally, there was a DeAndre Swift finding. Someone
Oh my
found it.
God, thank God.
It was PB out for him. Someone called the feds. They said, yo, I see him in the street. He's right here. They went and found him. They took him to the game. He finally showed up. So when a quarterback has all that help, all he has to do is not fuck up. All you got to do is not fuck up. And as a rookie, that's the best position they could put him in.
Possibly he was feeling the pressure a little bit because they were throwing in the rookie a lot more. I think he had one or two touchdowns. No, he had one touchdown in the beginning because it was more like it was on the goal line, so they threw the rookie in. Because Swift obviously is not a power back; he's so thin and quick, but his size and quickness got him both his big runs today. I think he had over 100 all purpose. It's been amazing.
Yeah, on the ground and rushing. I sat him in my league. I knew I'm like he could have a big game, but I'm gonna have to wait. I'm gonna let him do it, and then I'm gonna start putting him in. But James, I never got a chance to talk to you. I didn't even think about this since you're a Vikings fan. You gotta be also at least knowledgeable on Caleb Williams, critical of him, whatever. What did you think about today, and what do you think about him in general, like
Hold on
just
your
as a
horse.
prospect?
Hold on your horses, Cheech.
I don't think we have enough time on this segment, really. But so, man, I'll tell you what, he can play. But I was never a big fan of him in college. Okay, it's kind of like somebody that comes for a job opportunity and they say, "Oh yeah, but I've been with 3 teams." Something's probably wrong, right? But in college, he would put up numbers, but he couldn't win games.
They don't win the
And
big games.
if you're with USC and you're thrown for 400 yards, 500 yards, and you're losing, I'm a little confused. At some point, like I know Trevor Lawrence has had a tough start to his career in Jacksonville, and that's a messed up franchise too. But that guy found ways to win in college. Even when things were stacked against him. He willed his team to wins with the way he played,
No,
with
he
passing
was
the ball.
legendary in college.
But Caleb Williams would turn the ball over a lot in college. The big thing though that really sticks out to me in the NFL is his fumbling. And the fumbling is like I benched him in our league because like we lose points now with fumbles. We lose points with sacks. He is taking crazy sacks. He's fumbling the ball like almost every game so far. And yes, he didn't throw an interception today. But I'll tell you what, 157 yards passing is terrible. With would you say Tyler 17 or 20 something?
Yeah, 17.
Like to me, with the weapons that they have, DJ Moore, Romeo Edunze, Keenan Allen came back for the first game today. Okay, Swift got in the mix. I was wondering when the heck they were going to find Swift as well. Like that was the biggest thing with Justin Fields. They didn't give him nobody. Now he's got it, but I think he's pressing. I think he's trying to show out too much. But I just think in the NFL, man, I think 150 yards is nothing. Um, I wasn't quite sold on him coming out. I just think there was just a lot of hype for no reason. But I'm not gonna say he doesn't have it, but they'll be okay. Their defense is definitely they're 2-2 because of their defense.
No, no, for
Hands down,
sure, for sure.
hands down. Otherwise, they could be an 0-4 team. Personally,
And I think if he would have played better, they could even be 4-0.
well, that too.
That too,
Yeah,
yeah. Dixon, I know we talked about this, but James, do you think Eberflus is gone? Do you think he needs an offensive first coach? Obviously, when you do switch that switch of from your defense being incredible to all right, well, we're getting rid of that coach. We need an offensive guy for our quarterback. We've seen it time and time again. The Dolphins. I mean, it goes down. It goes down the line. But do you think he's one of those type of players that needs an offensive guy next to him?
I mean, you could say that for anybody. I think my big thing that like my big thing for these young guys is we're so quick to get rid of a coach. I don't know much about Eberflus really. I never really knew him before wherever he was at. Never really knew the guy, but like Fields had what 4 coaches in what 4 years. Like, how do you ever get comfortable with anything or a system when it's constantly changing? I think that's tough with confidence. I don't really know enough to speak on that, but I don't really care to see coach changes so fast. You sign somebody for 4 or 5 years for a reason, and then they get so quick with the losses to can somebody and think somebody's going to come in and save the day. But I think it does more harm personally, not just for a quarterback, but the whole team has to learn a system.
For sure.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think
Go
I
ahead.
think James is on to something big. Like, I think that's a terrible trend. Like, how quick to fire coaches we are now, just quick to blame someone. Continuity doesn't exist anymore in the NFL. Back in the day, that's what the NFL thrived on. And you just got to look at it like in a real work environment. Like continuity a lot of times, is one of the most important things, even over talent. Like how well does a team work together? But it's different nowadays. So yeah, it sucks for these young guys.
The examples I think of that when if the quarterback there, the coach was there for either a year or two with them. Two with Mike McDaniel, he became one of the best passers in the league. You look at Kirk Cousins when he got O'Connell, he automatically became way better. Oh, I mean, it was an overnight thing. So I mean, if what the other one I was thinking of, Herbert, he hasn't been check down God anymore. We always said as soon as Herbert gets a good coach, he's going to be better. Because Staley was like, this clearly they don't see it. Um,
Purdy with Shanahan.
yeah, but we haven't seen Purdy without Shanahan. That's why I didn't.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? Look at Stafford with McVay. Like Stafford was really good with the Detroit. When he went to LA, he won a championship.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's what I was. I mean, even like Baker. He was with McVay and he played okay. He was also with Carolina, which I thought he should have been out of the league when he was on that team. And then he pairs up with I'm drawing a blank on his name in Tampa Bay, and he's leading one of the best teams in the NFC right now.
Yeah.
Odd
It's a,
balls.
Not league.
but Baker's weird, man, because like he balled out today, but then next week he'll probably drop 3 interceptions. You know what I'm saying? Like Baker, he's got it, but like it's just so inconsistent.
Not this year though. This year's been consistent. This year he been on fire.
I'm so impressed with him for real. But
Yeah.
not to get off topic, but going back to the Caleb watch. Caleb looks okay. I think he will be okay, right? Just to kind of
Mhm.
summarize Caleb up. I think he will be okay. I think they put the training wheels back on him rather than last week when he had, 53 throws or whatever.
Right, right.
We had 360 yards. Yeah,
Right. But also they ran the ball a lot better today also. So he got to lean on that a little bit more. Caleb's gonna be fine. But I think Daniels is the guy of this draft.
Yo,
oh boy, dude, and I was not a believer, man. He looks nice.
dude looks special, fam.
He
He
does.
does.
Just blew
He
out
re-
Kyler Murray. Like
Blew him
blew
out.
out, like destroyed.
Blew him out. And when you're watching that game, you're like, yo, Arizona can't stop them.
And we're talking about a Washington team that's supposed to be terrible.
Rebuilding.
We talking about a
re-
Washington defense that you can't name one person. Huh?
defensive line's
There
okay.
we go. There we go. But
Exactly.
yeah, no, he seems to have that ability to uplift his teammates. That
Yeah.
type of special.
Also with
Yeah,
Brian Robinson playing so well, and he finally got a spark with his receivers. He, I thought the first couple games, I know I bring this up every damn week. I thought the first couple games he ran too much. And now that his running and passing is kind of,
Right.
yo, did he just figure it out in 4 games? 3 games?
He's just so on point now where it's like so like surgical with it. It's really impressive to see from a rookie.
220, 233, one touchdown, one pick, and 26 for 30. And on the ground, he was 8 for 47 with a touchdown. Fourth game. But
I
he's
wasn't expecting this.
no.
Right.
He was the one that I thought was going to be the number one bust, just because also like his size scares me. He's
Mhm.
Super
tall,
thin frame.
but he's tiny, and I'm like he's going to get smoked. And I'm telling you what, he's hands down has shocked me.
Yeah.
Nah, for sure. Hey, so hey, we're gonna have to start talking about these LSU quarterbacks. We just need one more. We just need one more good ass LSU quarterback, and we could say, okay, that might be quarterback
That
university.
yeah, right.
That might
Yeah.
be
See,
Because we
think
already
of
know the wide
this.
receivers. We know they got the wide receivers hands down.
yeah.
But they might have the
So,
quarterbacks now too.
but again, they obviously know how to handle a quarterback because Joe Burrow comes from Ohio State, and
Different,
he's like
yeah.
third on the depth chart or fourth on the depth chart, and then goes to LSU and breaks a single
The
season record. And
greatest quarterback season of all time, college
like,
wise.
how does that even make sense? You know,
Yeah, that was crazy.
it's like it's wild.
So
Jamar Chase and Jefferson don't hurt.
yeah,
No,
right.
isn't that the truth?
And now it's what Ben Thomas and no, was his name Ben Thomas on the Jags?
Brian.
Oh,
Ryan.
Brian Thomas.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks nice too.
Nice. Yeah, he looks nice.
And then
Yeah.
your boy on the Giants, right?
Malik Nabers. Oh my God.
Might be two more.
Hey, real quick. We're not even supposed to talk about this. You triggered me. You just triggered me, Tyler.
Good.
Malik Nabers is reviving Daniel Jones' career the way Odell Beckham Jr. revived Eli Manning's career. Like this, it's pretty disgusting to see. I mean, it's good, it's dope, but I know what's really gonna happen. I'm like, oh no, now they're gonna keep Daniel Jones for an extra 3 years than they were supposed to. If this guy keeps it up, but no, he looks like the real deal for sure.
Real deal for sure. And he went
Yeah, he is special too, and he's so super quick. He reminds me of
Yeah.
a more athletic Xavier Worthy, honestly. Like he's got a smaller frame, but
Right.
shifty. He's get the ball on the line and let him go.
And like a stocky Bill, looked like he could take the hit.
Yeah, Xavier Worthy is just a burner, but like Neighbors he's gonna be like a Debo almost, like a dual threat with a run
Right.
too. I think
Right,
you
right,
got to
right.
just put the ball in his hands. But hey,
Playmaker.
you triggered me, Dixon,
Why? What
and I don't.
happened?
I don't want to do this, but
What
I have to.
happened?
Odell Beckham Jr. This is scary. This reminds me of was it Byron Jones, the defensive back that the Dolphins paid, and then
Never
like
showed up.
what this reminds me of because nobody down here talks about Odell and his situation and his status. I don't hear anything about him.
Damn.
It,
Hey, we try not to talk about him. Hey, that's like the one like family member we just try to like
like, is he gonna play ever?
Supposedly, yeah, supposedly.
after 4 games, right? Now he's supposed to be activated, right?
Well, we have to play tomorrow, so let's see week 5.
Let's see.
Because no updates, no, like this is like a Byron Jones situation. It's super weird.
No, you're right. You're right. And just the fact that it wasn't really I think this is the thing. I don't even think he's injured or nothing. I think Odell has just worked himself to have enough clout to have these weird ass like contracts where it's like, oh, I'm only gonna play 8 games toward the end of
Mhm.
the year. I'm there for the playoff run and that's it. So I think that's really what it is.
I wear
I
my
can.
oil hat. I'll listen to that. You might be on something with that. But I know I brought this up to you, Dixon, but I do know that when Odell Beckham was signing the contract with the Finns, that he did say, I'm not going to be able to start the beginning of the season.
Okay.
The rehab and other stuff going on with him. Now, Miami's going to do what Miami does because it's Miami. But we all know Odell's name is bigger than his play at this point and has been for the last couple of years.
For sure.
Okay. I mean, I wasn't, yeah, I didn't know that. Like, if he knew that he was gonna be delayed like that. But hey, listen, man, I think Tyler Snoop Huntley could use an extra weapon out there to free up, some guys tomorrow night. But we'll see.
So last thing on the rookie watch is a clear-cut Daniels, Caleb solid middle, and Knox far below third with 60
Knicks.
yards in the air. Not, I'm sorry, Knicks with
Go Knicks.
yards in the air, first touchdown this year. That
Did
was
you, that game was terrible.
that was a bad game.
It was raining all game, right? The Jets versus Broncos. Right, pouring.
Goals. I mean, Rodgers. It was such a classic picture of Rodgers leaning back, throwing the towel on his face. I'm sure that's James's screensaver right now on his phone. But
Oh, I love it.
it was great.
I'll tell
Anything
you
else?
what, he's not looking very mobile right now, man. I'd be
Nah,
he listen, he's still dangerous, but I'll tell you what, if I was a Jets fan, I would be holding my breath a little bit.
he's looking his age.
He's
This,
looking a little hobbled.
yeah. Anything else you guys got on these guys?
Nah, man, that's it.
I can't wait till we can talk about Drake May maybe one day, huh?
So that's funny. Let's go on a ride real quick. Sunday night ride with Tyler. I'm just gonna go. I'll rattle off a few things. You guys jump in free.
Hop along, get in.
Speaking of Drake May,
Choo
that was so
choo.
bad today. The Niners throttled them and kind of slowed down at the end, but Brissett looked absolutely atrocious. Okay.
Yeah.
For the people that were saying, oh, well, they got Brissett, he's a good pit stop, whatever. No, we talked about this before. He was one of the pit stops for Brissett was Miami. And they said the same bullshit. We'll put him in before Tua. He's terrible. And he's doing terrible shit right now.
We knew that though.
We knew this.
Hmm.
So when does Drake May go in? Is it this
Uh,
year? Is it
I
next?
think I think they have to put him in eventually. I think the pressure. I think they got by those first 2 games because they were super competitive and won one of the games. But now we're really seeing the Patriots for what they are, a really bad team, top like worst 3 team in the league. But I don't know. Their philosophy is they're so bad that they don't want to risk this guy and get him like prone to injury or things like that. That's why they're not going to play him. I don't know.
yeah, I'm on you. I'm with you there too, Dixon. Like you just kind of save him maybe for a good draft class maybe next year. But I think week 6, if it still continues, I think week 6 he's in for sure. And then if nothing else, maybe you got a little opportunity to maybe move Brissett to somebody that's maybe really, really desperate and maybe grab an extra pick. I don't know, because I'm not sure if they have a third guy right now on their roster. But my thing is another thing. You're putting a rookie quarterback in a terrible, terrible offense.
For sure.
What's he gonna do other than make
Right.
mistakes?
Brissett.
Like that's a tough offense to go into, man. And it's like there's just no weapons there. I
At all.
mean, I I get it. Everybody's a competitor, and they're never going to say it. But if I was a quarterback, I'd be like, damn, I got nothing here.
If they didn't have Ramondre, they would be by
But
far offense at least.
and not for nothing, Tyler. You saying if they didn't have Ramondre,
I mean, that's the only bright spot.
Ramondre's trash.
It was a big part of the wins. It was a big part of their wins. Both of the games were up 20.
He's decent. He's decent.
He's okay. I'll give him. He's decent, but he's nothing. He's nothing to ride home on, though.
No,
You
no,
know.
no.
No, he's not. But if you had to pick up some sort of bright spot of the
No, they had a Hunter Henry flash here and there. You know, I've been keeping up, but yeah, I don't know. I think you have to at least throw him in for a couple games. Maybe not the whole season, like James said. Let's get 3, 4 games just to see what we got.
so
But hey, if I were them, you got to throw someone else in there besides Brissett. Like, let's just switch it up. Fuck it.
Mhm.
Don't got to be Drake, but let's put someone else.
going on to the next game, I want to speak about. The Bengals finally get a win. They're now 1-3. They look like a good 1-3. They also slowed up at the end. They made a few mistakes, but they had some timely scores at the end of the half. And Joe Burrow's back. Chase is back.
Yo, cool.
But that defense is trash, just like last week. They let the Panthers get somewhat, 2 scores when it should have been a throttling.
Right. Nah, yeah, I think it's been like the same, Bengals identity for a couple years now, but I think, like you said, they're a very dangerous 1-3 for sure.
Very dangerous 1-3.
100% dangerous. You know, the one thing I think is pretty cool is the amount of people that got kicked out of their sudden death pick'em leagues week one. Everybody, I know a lot of people took the Bengals boy thinking that's a lock. And I'll tell you
Oh,
what,
versus
though,
the
man.
Patriots. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And I think they said about 40% of people in sudden death leagues are done. But I'll tell you,
Hmm.
Burrow's nice, but Burrow kind of scares me a little bit. Like there's something there. Like I don't know. I feel like he's regressed a little.
Really? Okay.
I kind of do, and I don't know if it's because he's pressing or whatnot, but I think teams are playing them different now. Is Jamar Chase is still getting his yards and he's a stud. It's hard to stop a stud, but teams are trying to cover more and better and trying to make the Bengals beat you another way.
For sure.
Because everybody knows the Bengals are going to throw the ball, beat us somehow else, and they're having a tough time doing that.
I mean,
You know, and
they put up 30 plus 30 points the last 2 weeks, and I mean they don't have a Mixon back there anymore. I think that's the biggest thing.
yeah,
They had Pete
Yeah.
right back there again. I mean,
yeah,
And yeah, no, James is right. The teams are just making a concerted effort. Like, yo, we're not gonna let Chase go crazy. But it's crazy. Today he only had 3 catches. One of those
yeah.
catches was like a 60-yard, broke 4 tackles, touchdown. Like his ability to just like he's one of those where any play could be a touchdown with him.
it was awesome.
That was a nasty play. That was all
That
him.
was nasty.
It was awesome.
And I will say though, still not better than Justin Jefferson, and he should not get paid more than Justin Jefferson.
No, no.
I drop that mic.
CJ had a big comeback today. They were down late in the game. They could have scored a couple more times in the fourth. That Jags defense stopped them. CJ came back and won them the game with, I think it was less than a minute. And I'm finally ready to say CJ is a clear-cut top 10 quarterback in the league. Because I know how they finished the year last year. A lot of things went their way for them to get in the place that they ended up going, meaning the playoffs and how they were remembered. But I think CJ, him pulling off that clutch performance, put him in that top 10 quarterbacks. He was so poised at the end,
Yes.
especially his guys. He threw, I mean, every team checks down, right? Especially late game just to get the yards. But he was slinging the ball.
Nico Collins went crazy. Nico Collins been top 5 receiver this year.
He didn't look panicked, and they had a backup running back in with Mixon, ironically, being out.
Cam Akers.
Cam Akers, yeah.
Wow. No, Tyler, I agree with you completely. And it's not even the numbers. It's just, like you said, the poise, like the maturity he shows and the ability to win close games. Yeah, he's working his way. Like he's definitely, I would say top 10, but he's elite now. And yeah, it's always good to see him. But yo, anytime they play the Jags or the fucking Colts, it's a battle. It's like a bloodbath. It's like a 3-point game. Like those in division games in the AFC South are always bangers. So that's always interesting to see as well.
Division.
Yep,
It's like the Vikings, Bears, Lions, and Packers.
literally.
Bears could be 0-4, but they could still beat you on any given day. The Lions, even when they used to their shit days, shit years, you would still be scared of them
Yeah,
just because you play. It's like you play for something more than just the game when it's a division.
First, yeah, you play with it's like bragging rights over your little brother. That's what it's like.
You
right,
want to ruin their season, you know.
right.
Going to the next game, I don't know how the Steelers are staying competitive with Justin Fields. They lost today, okay, but Justin Fields brought them back in the game. They were down 17-0. Richardson got hurt again. Again,
Hip injury.
and
And
Flop.
who the fuck came in to save the game? How?
Flacco.
Yo, I said Joe Flacco. I thought I was seeing a typo.
Flacco,
Ex
they looked better. They looked like a better team.
This is crazy.
Revival of a career.
Yo, this guy revived twice. Yo, usually people only get one revival.
He's like the Undertaker. It's
No,
what
he's
He's
like
a
a cat. He's like a cat now
he's like a cat.
on his fourth life, fam.
It's impressive.
But going back to Fields, I don't know how they won their first three games. They won with a lot of defense. Fields not fucking it up.
Defense, right there. They're the number one defense in the league,
JJ
honestly.
Watt,
But yo, the
EJ
way
Watt, my
Fields is
fault.
Yeah.
I can't believe they're 3-1 and they just lost. Like if Anthony Richardson stayed in the game,
They
I
would have won.
would have lost. I really do. I really do.
No, for sure. Yeah, the Steelers
Yeah,
would have won.
they obviously they just got dug a hole and it was hard to come back, and then Flacco was able to manage it. You know, 100%. Like any team now, like you dig yourself a 21-0, 17-0, that's a lot to come back. You know,
Exactly. And there's just something special that happens sometimes when a backup quarterback comes in. It just like sparks the team and it creates like a different type of momentum. Seems like that happens today with the Colts. You know, I'm sure a lot of guys were a little bit fed up with Richardson's play, and you could see the way they played with Flacco.
but they had a running game too against the Steelers, which was crazy. Jonathan Taylor had a great
Jonathan
game,
Taylor showed up. Yep.
and like I said, the Steelers are arguably the number one or number two defense in the league. Like they're really good.
If I'm not gonna lie, if I'm a Steelers fan, I like today's loss in a weird way. Just because Justin Fields finally went over 300 yards, he finally was able to like show out, even though it was in a loss. He was able to show us something that we didn't see all year.
And still had rushing yards.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
80 with I think 2 touchdowns.
Hmm.
He's this is definitely a different. I mean, this is a different Fields from Chicago.
For sure. Hey, Russell Wilson, you better
What do
just
you?
enjoy Sierra, my boy. You better just vibe, take care of the kids. Like, you good, fam. You good.
You gotta
I
stay-
was just.
No, I don't know.
He is the new Matt Moore now. Hold that clipboard, son.
Damn. He got Sierra. He might be good.
Going to the last. Or
Poor
not.
guy. I feel so bad for him.
No, I don't. When you hear that stories, when he was going to Denver, that he needed his own office, he needed this, he
He
needed
did too much in Denver, bro.
you. Wow,
No,
you
I
are.
was I was I was saying it for the fact that he has Sierra. I feel so bad. Oh,
Oh, yeah.
going home to that's gotta suck.
Right.
So, God bless. Very good, Russell. Next game is. I think the Eagles might be in panic mode.
Oh yeah, I got something for this one.
I didn't understand the how people. I mean, you guys both know my thoughts and feelings about Vangio as the DC. I didn't understand the praise that he was getting for the first couple games because they weren't impressive to me at all. It was more like
Oh,
Saquon helped win those games. If there was no Saquon, there was no wins. I think they might be in panic mode. I really do. Because Tampa went up real quick, real fast against them. First three drives.
boom.
At one point, I think it was they had 100, Bucks had 180 yards, Eagles had 0. That's a big matzo ball hanging out if you're an Eagles fan.
Yeah, bro. So there's a lot there, man. Um, your boy, defense coordinator, obviously, I know what you loved him when he was here in Miami. So I already know your feelings there. But I'll tell you what, we talked about defensive backs. It's systems. Kansas City can win with rookies and young guys. They got two top rookie defensive backs that aren't really making an impact. Okay. But my number one biggest thing here is Jalen Hurts. Wasn't the biggest fan of him coming out of college. I was like, how's he going to? But then he surprised me. But A.J. Brown out, Devontae Smith out. This is where good quarterbacks have to find a way. Mahomes can do it with nobody. Hurt struggles, and it shows. He's very limited, and I think they're very. It's eye opening.
Yeah, no, I think you're totally right about that. What hurts, I think he needs weapons around him to excel. But I expected this. He's out his two top weapons. They're arguably the top like best tandem in the league. And I don't know, it seems like the Bucks might just have their number at this point. But I wouldn't say panic mode. I didn't really expect him to win this one, but let's see how he looks once they get those weapons back and how the team looks overall. And the Bucks, like we said earlier, they just kind of been on fire all year.
They're running.
But no, James is onto something. I think it has to end. There's no way Baker could be this good the whole year. Gotta
Right.
hit a wall at some point.
But I don't think it's just Baker. It's the team
Team.
around him. Like Godwin and Evans are
Godwin and Evans, my God.
But
and
they're
also
also doing it with like two running backs that are like not knowing.
no one knows them, but they're running as hard as possible and they're scoring and getting chunk plays. Like I think that's a big reason why they beat the Lions. They beat the Lions at their own game.
There's something going. I think Goff isn't Goff.
Golf ain't
He's
golf.
not Goff isn't golfing like he was before. I think he's coming down.
Last thing I want to talk about on this ride is Miami plays Tennessee tomorrow. Tyler Huntley is starting. Okay. Um, Dixon, how do we feel about going into it? And what do you think will happen? What do you expect to happen?
I think it'll be a tough game. I don't think it'll be, a blowout either way. I do expect it is already announced that Tyler Huntley will start Snoop, so it's gonna be very limited. Obviously, like people don't understand NFL playbook. It's super hard to like learn to comprehend. So to expect the quarterback to come in and just ball, I don't expect that, but I expect us to try to get our weapons involved a lot more. Screen game, jet sweeps, and I think we should have a good enough all-around team to beat the Titans, who look like one of the worst teams in the league.
If we lose this game, well, it's panic mode.
It's a fucking problem. No, listen. Yeah, thank you. My fault. I was being too passive and calm. If we lose this game,
Five
it's
games.
a freaking problem.
Yeah.
If Will Levis beats the Dolphins tomorrow,
It's a problem.
yes,
100%. I don't care if Tua's there, Matt Moore, Tannehill. I don't care who's the quarterback. It's a problem.
we have Snoop Dogg. Oh, I'll tell you what. I have a premonition. Tyler Snoop is from Miami.
There we go.
Went to high school down here. He's
There we
coming home.
go.
Listen, he's been a savvy vet. He's like a used Lamar Jackson, right? He's not a Cadillac. He's not quite a Prius, but he's in the mid range. He's got legs, and I think his legs. I see him hitting with Hill or Waddle a couple times on extending plays out of the pocket. And defensive backs can't stay with those speedy receivers that long. And if he can extend a play,
Yeah.
he to me is sure in the hell a lot better than Skylar Thompson.
1000%.
And even when Lamar went down in Baltimore, he came in and he played decent ball.
Got a
They
couple
didn't complete.
wins.
They didn't completely go to the tank. He kept he kept his career there. And I'll tell you, I'm optimistic with him. I really am. I think it's going to give a little bit of a different dynamic. Thompson is like a straight drop back and one or two reads and panic. Huntley now is going to make teams read option. Okay, the scramble to the outside, like it poses a whole new problem. And he's got a cannon. He's got an arm. Um, First play of the game, play action bomb. No, I'm just joking. But I do see the Dolphins play a little different tomorrow.
I hope they don't come out how they did with Skyler. It was pretty much like, all right, this is what Tua did. You got it. No, you don't. He held
We
on to
gotta
the ball
adjust. Yeah.
like he just glued his hands to the ball. It was
Boy was patting that ball like
He was passing the ball like a newborn baby.
Like a newborn baby who was burping, bro.
Yo, it
Really,
was painful to watch though.
oh, it was atrocious. But I will be interested to see how similar, will it look from, I don't expect him to be Tua, but what kind of plays they incorporate and how they move him around and use his legs a little bit. And
Yeah, yeah. Like James said, let's lose his legs. Let's give him play action. Let's roll him out.
it can't be as bad as last week. So I'm
Uh,
gonna wrap up the ride. Appreciate y'all joining me.
hold on. There's something here. Hold on. What? Oh, just in.
Oh yeah? Oh
Ooh,
shoot.
okay.
Is that from the script writers?
That's straight from the
I'm
script, page
uh,
46.
I'm booking it, guys. The only person that can beat him out of this Player of the Year award is Aaron Rodgers. That'll be his only competition this year.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Hey, you should bet it. You should see what the odds are.
I already tried. It's not up there. I can't find it.
Ah.
Mm.
All right, so
But
what do you want to talk about? Thank you for this ride, my boys.
Yo, great ride. Thank
Last,
you for stopping at the, McDonald's on the way.
last thing I want to bring up before I let y'all go is D Rose retired a couple days ago. He
That
was
one hit different, fam.
was it
yeah,
was it was pretty, reflecting on his career and the way he did it was unique. And what was your first thoughts, Chicho?
Hey, that one hit different. D Rose, I don't know, something special about D Rose. He just had like a special, love relationship with the fans. He's one of the players that never got hated on, which is rare, especially in today's like social media era. Everyone gets fucking roasted and hated on, but he was one guy that I think for him it was like his humbleness. He was remember 2000s I forgot what it was, 11 All-Star game. The East All-Stars came out all goofy as hell. Dwight Howard dancing, LeBron dancing, doing the most, and D Rose is just stone face. And that's just really who he was. Very humble player, and he came from like rough beginnings. He came from over there where Chief Keef and them from. You know what I'm saying? So really sad to see him go. Really sad, just reflect on his career. I think everyone looks at it like with a bit of sadness because youngest MVP to ever do it. And then, it was just one or two plays that changed everything.
So he was one of if you make a list of the could have been players, he's top three on that list.
Oh yes, for sure.
The way he played was so vigorous and ruthless and aggressive for the
And
air.
listen, me reflecting on his career, I gotta say this. He gotta be the most athletic point guard of all time. Like that's just gotta be the title we give him. I
over
know
AI,
you gotta
over
throw
A,
Westbrook, you gotta throw Morant. I know
A,
Westbrook and Morant for sure, but he's
AI
just, hey, no,
over
AI for
great,
sure. Because AI's
great.
athleticism is underrated because he wasn't dunking on people, but he was crazy athletic. And he was dunking on people rookie year, though. Quiet as kept.
I agree with you 100%, Dixon. What you said about the humbleness, it is kind of sad because like there was no really diva, for how great he was. The one thing
Never.
that the one thing that really shocked me the most is he played with like the aggression, but it almost was like at an ease. And I never realized his stats were that high. Like that dude's got some stats, and I thought his career was kind of cut short with injury. But the time he was in the league, he balled, and I think
Sure.
I don't really like. I didn't expect him to have stats that massive,
Yeah.
So it's
No,
impressive.
that's a great point. He played so aggressive, but he was so calm. So it
Mhm.
was like that contradiction was kind of beautiful to see.
It's like as a fan, I'm sad because we were cut short of such a great career possible. Like
For sure.
feel bad for a guy like that.
Yo, when he was at his peak, that was 2011, 2012.
Yo, he single-handedly battled the Beatles.
Yeah.
People forget, like he
No,
beat the
single-handedly
Beatles.
was tough. Yo, Joaquin was a top player in the league. I'm telling you. Luol Deng was a top player at his position. You are just forgetting this stuff.
No, look, I wanted to hate so bad on Joaquin Noah. but he's one of those heat killers. He always
That
fucking
guy.
battled the heat so tough. And the Bulls been battled the heat tough. Back to Kirk Heinrich, Ben Gordon, like
Oh
they've
yeah,
been a fucking problem for us, bro.
Yeah.
he
Well,
really put a scar on me when I was a little one.
Well,
Those heat teams up.
you good though?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'll
You
never.
overcame that trauma?
Yeah, I'll never. I see him. Don't expect me to say hello, what's up, Ben? Because
Oh, Ben Gordon. No, I feel you.
I was beef on those teams.
whatever had like that was another career I felt like he just kind of went poof.
Dropped off the fucking earth.
He went
Don't
Didn't he go to Detroit?
went to Detroit for a couple of years.
He did pretty good like his first year with them, I think, and then
It's Detroit. I mean, if you're not part of the '04 team, sorry, it's Detroit.
hey, once you hit Detroit, that's
li-
the final pit stop, my boy.
listen, man. D Rose was a Timberwolf at one point. At the end of his career,
He
you
dropped
know,
a 50 piece, iconic
got
50 piece.
got a couple games and listen. Big news in Minnesota too, boys. I love the trade. I love it.
Cat
Really?
Julius
Cook.
Julius Randle, Dante DiVincenzo, and a first round pick, bro, from Detroit for
Mm.
Cat to New York. I
Yeah.
love it.
What do you think about that? How do you think about that fit?
I think it's honestly, I love it. I think Cat's good. He's great, good score, but he's soft for a big guy.
Yes.
And
Oh, zesty as hell too.
yeah, and you paying him $220 million, man. Like we're gonna get to a point where they can't afford it. Somebody's gonna have to go. I think he's the right piece to go. I think Randall to stay healthy, his size, his athleticism. I think I already told you, Tyler. Like that pick and roll game could get even nastier with Ant Man, and then Dante's really he was a good shooter in college. He's kind of revived his NBA. He kind of started a little slow coming out of college, but he the last year for sure, like in 2 years coming out of Milwaukee, then to the Knicks, but like he really like he's got game.
No, for
He's
sure.
and he can hit, man. You got that pick and roll, maybe him standing out there, an extra shooter on the team. The T Wolves are going to be nice. They're going to be really nice.
The problem, I mean, I'm not going to go on the Steven Chenzo rant, but the problem with him is that he reminds me of not only because he's white, but he reminds me of Hero. He's a great scorer. He's not as good a scorer as Hero is, but we saw it again in the playoffs when he's hunted, and then he has to get out. It's just.
Yeah,
I'll be interested to see with the whole Randall thing. I know he's been wanting to get out of New York, or even his time kind of ran out. I feel because of a few on-court things that gestures to the.
Off court, a lot of off court things.
It's just silly. So
He had beef with the organization.
yeah, he really
That's
did
probably what it is, yeah.
twice. Which what are you doing, bro? Like
I think if you just do a Randall for Cat trade, I think Cat's a better player. But the fact that you add DiVincenzo and that first round pick makes it a really appealing trade. I think one thing James was getting at is like the soft and all that thing is huge. Like Randall, he might not be as talented as Cat, but he's a dog.
yeah,
He's someone like you heard that story where he tried KG his rookie year. Like I was like, oh shit,
mm-hmm.
whoa. So I think if you get another dog, pair him with Anthony Edwards, and then you add more depth, because we forgetting they got my boy Dillingham in the draft through the trade with the Spurs. I think he's gonna be
Yep,
huge. I
yep.
think he's
Well,
super nice. So you add
not
that
only
depth.
not even Dillingham. There's the other. Oh my gosh, I forget the kid's name. The other kid they drafted that dropped because
Mm,
he had some legal issues in college, and all those, and then so he couldn't play, but like he was going through I think like some sex abuse scandal or whatever,
okay,
and
I didn't know about
he
this.
he was I think the top 5 or top 10 draft like supposedly coming in that year was supposed to be like the top 10 player of top 5 guy coming, and then his career got derailed basically because of the scandal. And I
Picked him up
think,
later in the draft.
yeah, he dropped. Man, I'm gonna look it up. Yeah, but that to me is gonna be the we with Dillingham and him, two solid guards.
I'll be interested to see if they move Randall out more to the perimeter, more corner threes, and having Gobert just having all that space. Because that
Yeah,
you could notice that, Cat size and Gobert size was sort of an issue at times.
It was hard to play both of them at the same time.
It is. And dude, like the thing is, I like Gobert, but man, his hands are soft. That
Dude
dude
is
is
soft
super
as shit.
like he needs to figure it out too. That's the other
Hey, he
like
needs to toughen up too, bro. I ain't gonna lie.
like he really let me down, I think, in the playoffs a couple times. It's like you're defensive player of the year how many years in a row? And you're like the ball gets thrown to you and it's like you fumble it, constantly fumbling the ball. You can't even snag a rebound and hold on to it. Like you're like the biggest guy in the court,
Right.
you know?
Yeah, so something three. I think he's won 3 years now, and he's a Hall of Famer, right?
Gotta be.
Gobert?
His accolades say yeah, but when he
Three
won
defensive player of the years. I mean,
three of
Yeah,
them,
he
I mean you can't.
probably
Terrence
like five defensive all team or all team defense, you
But I
know.
don't get it. It's like you're DPOY, but you're being pulled out the last 5 minutes
But you're
again.
getting fucking headhunted in the playoffs.
I just it's so if you watch basketball from the playoffs to the regular season, you're like, wait, Rudy's not in the game for the fourth quarter. Oh yeah, because he can't guard anyone. They
well
fly
that
past him.
I still
yeah,
got PTSD how Luca did them in the playoffs.
Oh yeah,
That game
no,
winner.
oh god, that was
God,
you
God.
you can't even like Luca's just
the
he's
whole
sick.
franchise felt that one.
Yeah,
So
Terrence Shannon was the kid that the T Wolves drafted.
Gotcha. I'm be on
Look
the
him up.
lookout. I'm be on the lookout for him.
you all want to add anything to the episode before I let us go?
Nah, man, it's
Now,
cool. Great topping it up with you, James. Great hearing your story. Hey, I was gonna say, like, dude, you can meet a Cowboys fan, you can meet a Jets fan, but to actually know a Vikings fan is pretty rare. So I had to hear his story. Like, how does that even happen? So I appreciate you coming on with us.
that's life right there.
So yeah,
But it's man, it was a pleasure, guys. Thanks for letting me come on and chat it up with you guys as well. And it was a good time. Never a bad day talking sports.
yeah, you'll have to come on in a few weeks. We'll have to get a recap what the Vikings are
See how
doing.
the Vikings keep doing. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, let's
Right,
do it. I
bro.
mean,
Have a great night. James, thank you very, very much for jumping on. It was a pleasure, like always. And Chicho, I'm gonna holla at you, bro.
Yes, sir. Peace.
All right, guys. Have a good night.
later, guys.